the story behind the best-selling gun on the market in today's world, the Miroku, the Japanese gun that just keeps on getting better. Welcome back to the shooting channel. Welcome back to this onward story of what different models Mirokus are. Now, we all know that Browning own Miroku, or Browning own the rights to Miroku in UK and Europe. But everyone around the world wants to get Mirokus. A lot of you American viewers seem to love Mirokus. Yes, you can go direct to Miroku, and you can have you've got Miroku Australia, which is actually dealt with direct from Miroku. But Miroku is one of those guns that has never been promoted particularly much within the world of Browning, within the world of shotguns. But they are always number one, number two. Number one, number two. Outside of Beretta and Browning, they are always up there. And that is because the Miroku is the only off-the-shelf gun to win Commonwealth and World medals on the Olympic scene. And yes, we all know the most famous Miroku in the world is the MK38. This is the Sporter because the Sporter came out the back of the trap gun. Now, the MK38 trap was one of the best trap guns in the world. And it's basic, it does what it says on the tin, but I can remember when Steve Walton won double Commonwealth Games with an MK38 Grade 1, so a £1,000 gun. And everyone loved it so much, they started to shoot MK38 trap guns at sporting. So I wanted to tell you what the difference, because a lot of people don't know actually what the difference is between all the Miroku models. Now, generally you have the MK38, which is the highest and heaviest, the highest in the comb and the heaviest gun, because it's built basically like the trap gun. The only difference is it hasn't got the snarl forend and it hasn't got the adjustable comb, but it basically, that is the MK38 trap. You then have the MK70, the MK60. Now, the MK70 and 60, basically, the MK are different. MK60 is the game gun, MK70 is the Sporter. And again, they do various different ones. So that isn't strictly true, because they do various different ones. Some of them came with fixed choke, some of them came with multi-choke. But the main focus was the MK70s were really flat in the comb, or are really flat in the comb. And this comes back to, if you look at one of the films I did, when I said the best way you look at it, you look at the three manufacturers. You look at Browning, you look at Beretta, and you look at Miroku. And this is before the 725 and the 825 Browning came out. Browning had the highest stock dimensions, Miroku had the lowest stock dimensions. This is forgetting the MK38. So you had the MK60, the MK70, which is the lowest, and then you had the Browning, which is higher, and then you had Beretta halfway between the two. I know now it's slightly changed and they all do different things, and the the 825 and the 725 is that middle market now, which is why Browning is so strong across the world, is because they have the whole market. And this is why Browning actually is beating Beretta on the market, on the world scene, is because they have the lowest in the comb, the highest in the comb, and halfway through, which going back 30 years ago, Beretta had that middle slot. But that is the difference between the MK70 and 60 and the MK38. Again, I think the MK38 is probably one of the best guns. It's heavy, it does its job. It's not particularly great for game shooting, but for sporting, most sporting shooters want a nice heavy gun, so they don't throw it around. And this is why a lot of people do tend to buy the Sporters, because they're the cheapest. They're the cheapest sporting gun you can get. They retail at around about £2,000. You can pick second-hand ones up for £1,500, £1,800. But they retail about that. Now, if you want to go into a big competition shooting gun, then you have to move to the XS Pro, Krieghoff, Blaser, Prasi, that sort of thing. So that is what the MK38 was. I would recommend, if these are not particularly great for very elderly people or youngsters, unless you're really strong and you can hold it. But this is why, when you pick your gun, when you want to buy a gun, you want to go to your local shooting school, because they will have all of the range for you to go out and see what fits you, see whether you can handle the gun. Because yes, if you're sort of 20, 30, you're nice and fit, this will be a really good gun. But if you're 60, 70, you're just getting into shooting, it's going to be quite heavy, basically. The MK60-70 is the next. They are slightly lighter, but they are quite low in the comb. So again, if I mount the gun into the camera, you can see my eye behind this rib. So that is the one issue with the MK70, is they're quite low, very low in the comb. And then if you move on, you've actually got the Miroku 6000, the Miroku 7000, the Miroku 3800, which was the gun before the MK38 came out, and then you've got the gun that made Miroku famous, the Miroku ORE. And if you look at, so if I pick these up, if I go through the Miroku models and I mount them at you, you'll see the difference in the comb height. So if I start with the Miroku ORE, again, fixed choke Miroku, very hard butt plate. This particular one is a sporter, but you can have this in the game gun as well. Again, very low in the comb. But these are absolute bulletproof guns. If you want to go with low in the comb, this you ain't going to beat. This is the old 3800, which they built these as skeet guns originally. They did build some on sporters, but they did build them as skeet guns. Nice wide rib, which is what a lot of skeet shooters like. And they did these in 26 inch, 28 inch. I think they did a 30 inch as well. Comment below, have you seen a 3800 30 inch? And again, low in the comb. And then they had the 7000, again, wide rib, multi-choke. So that was the difference between the 3800 and the 7000, is this is multi-choke. 28 inch or 30 inch I've seen these in. Fairly low in the comb. And then the 6000, wide rib. They did this in the skeet gun. These tend to be fixed choke, not multi-choke. So this was kind of the difference between the models. Some of them came out with multi-choke, some of them were skeet guns. So this is where they were all decent models, but they all had different things with them. And this, again, low into the comb. So, again, going right the way back from when Miroku started with the ORE, which again, you can see on the film, my father literally won everything with that gun. This is where Miroku virtually has done every single make, model, everything. They've specialised in everything. They've done skeet guns and they've won skeet at high level. They've done trap, they've won trap at high level. They've done sporting, they've won sporting at high level. They've even done game guns, because you can actually get an MK60, MK70 game gun with a 32 inch, 34 inch barrels. So again, this is the MK60. This is the MK60. They do an MK70. The MK60 basically had fixed choke, and the reason why the fixed choke ones came out is because a lot of people on game shooting, they didn't used to want to change their chokes. The same on skeet, you just used to have the skeet chokes in there. So they've given everyone something in everything. Again, quite very low into the comb. So that's kind of the range of different Mirokus there were. And then came along they had the MK38 trap, and then everyone thought, well, what the hell? Everyone's shooting our trap guns at sporting. Why don't we make an MK38 sporter? And this was the thing that really made, this was the gun that really made Miroku. Because they wanted a sporting gun, because they've got game guns, they've got lighter guns, they've got skeet guns. They wanted a sporting gun. They wanted one with a recoil reducer on it. They wanted something high in the comb. They wanted something heavy. They wanted all of the chokes with it. They wanted a gun that basically was a basic gun, a bog standard gun, that basically could go and win you the world championships at sporting. And this gun has. And if you look at the amount of people, Mickey Rouse, my father, even John Bidwell, they all started with pretty much the MK38. And this is the gun that has made everything. So if you're looking in the range of Mirokus, this is the sort of guns that you want to look at. And if you look at the comb heights, see my eye is a lot higher. So that is really the story of Miroku, and that is the story. So all you American viewers, if you really love that Miroku brand, I know you can't get Mirokus too much in America, comment below. Pretty much you can get Mirokus in this country if you want. Again, our partnership with Fred Baker Sporting, he can pretty much get you any Miroku you want. So either email him direct or email the channel, and we will help you find your Miroku in America. We can help you find your Mirokus from OREs all the way through to the MK38, the most famous Miroku. So that is the story of Miroku. I will just go through, again, the models that you can. So again, you've got the Miroku ORE, which is they do it in a game gun and a sporter, which is fixed choke. They've got the Miroku 3800, which they do in a skeet gun. This particular one is fixed choke, the Miroku 3800. They do it in a skeet gun, and they do some sporters, 26 and 28 inch. The Miroku 7000, multi-choke, sporting gun. The Miroku 6000, fixed choke. They do this in a sporter and in a game gun. You can find the 6000s. The Miroku 60, which again this is a fixed choke gun. They do this in a game gun and a sporter. They also do the MK70. So this is the Miroku MK60, but they also do the MK70, which the MK70 generally will come with multi-chokes, generally. And then the big daddy of them all is the Miroku MK38 Sporter and the Miroku MK38 Trap, which I do believe you can't get too many MK38 traps anymore because they did discontinue it a few years ago. I don't know whether Browning still do it or Miroku still do it, because I don't think they sold many of them. But what they did sell was the best trap gun on the market, the MK38 trap. And the MK38 is the one with the height in the comb, heavy, that's there to kill clay targets. So if you want a Miroku and you want to go sporting, the Miroku MK38 is your one if you want a gun that's nice and heavy and height in the comb. So that is your story of Mirokus. Comment below. Have I missed anything out? There's probably a few Mirokus that I have missed out of this particular film, because there was hundreds of them. In Australia, they do the MK10 and the MK11. Sorry, in Australia, they do the MK10. We do the MK11, which is a game gun. But they do a lot of other guns, and they bring some out. So the MK11 is a side-plated, nice, lovely side-plated game gun. But Miroku are their main motto is they are an off-the-shelf gun. They are a pretty basic gun, but they make a gun that works, doesn't go wrong, and can achieve exactly what you want, what it says on the tin. So there you have the story of Miroku, and there you have all the different models, excluding a couple, but there you have the different models that you have. Comment below if there's anything you'd like to find out about any Mirokus, or email the channel at contactus@theshootingchannel.co.uk, and we will do our best to help you. I hope you've enjoyed this programme. Please like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button. It really helps us give you content like this. And please, please, come back to us if you think I've made a mistake or I've missed something out of this lovely Miroku film. If you're in America or the UK and you want something, we will do our best to help you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.